Exporting coffees to roasters can feel very complicated when you're starting, and we at Algrano get a lot of questions from coffee producers who are new to this way of selling coffee. And that makes total sense because exporting will affect how you price your coffee, where you get a coffee delivered, and how you're going to get paid. But it's not rocket science. Once you know how things work, you're able to price your coffee and you're able to know how you're going to get that coffee delivered to the roaster. And then when a roaster comes asking you questions about logistics, you're able to give them the confidence and peace of mind that they're looking for in a partner. So what we're doing here now is going through the most frequently asked questions that we received from coffee producers. We're going to break it into 3 parts. We're going to start talking about offers and pricing, and then in the next video we're going to talk about shared shipments, and then we're going to talk about payment. And of course, a lot of answers will vary on a case-by-case basis, so I'm not going to be able to cover everything here. But if you have questions that remain unanswered after this video, our support team is more than happy to help. You can contact them via the chat on the platform or via support@algrano.com. Let's start. So question number 1 is, how can I get an FOB price? Just to clarify, FOB is an Incoterm used in international shipments. It stands for free on board. It's one of the most common Incoterms they're going to see for coffee exports. It informs you about when the responsibility for the coffee is going to change hands, when you're going to get paid, and it informs you about what's included in the price of the coffee. In terms of price, it means that your price is going to include all your farm price, so everything that comes into cost of production and the margin that you expect to receive as a coffee producer. And it also has to include all the export costs, so everything that comes into like milling, packing, stuff in the container and getting that coffee to port. This is relatively easy to calculate if you're exporting the coffee yourself. If you're not exporting the coffee yourself, you're able to get in touch with Algrano, so we can put you in touch with an exporter that we work with, and they'll be able to provide you with export costs that you can add to your price before you send your price to a roaster. That way, once you export the coffee and you receive the money from the exporter, you're not going to get any unpleasant surprise. It's important to say as well that FOB offers or offers made in FOB prices are the most common that you're going to see in the coffee industry, but it's not the only way that you can offer coffee to a roaster. So on Algrano, you have the option of making FOB offers, and you also have the option of making landed price offers. In most cases, because you might not know exactly how many bands the roasters are looking to get, or you might not have been talking to them before, you make an FOB offer. And the roaster on their end of the platform, they're going to be able to see how much it costs them to get that coffee delivered. So they're going to be able to see the cost of freight, insurance, finance, and everything else that goes into getting the coffee from A to B. For a roaster, it's important to see a landed price offer, because when they're budgeting their coffees for the year, they're not only going to have to pay for the FOB, they have to pay for the freight of the coffee as well. They have to pay for insurance, quality control, financing if they need it. And there are some other costs like warehousing and releasing the coffee from the warehouse as well that they're going to have to cover. So they're not going to be able to have the full picture that they need for their budget if they don't have a landed price offer. So typically when they get an offer from an importer, that offer will be from the coffee in the spot market. That will include all the freight and logistics costs. And as a producer, you don't always get to see that. In fact, you rarely get to see how much the roaster pays at the end, like at the other end of the supply chain. So at Algrano, if you go to your sales opportunities tab, you can click on create landed price parts. So you give the roaster an estimated idea of how much they're going to pay at the end. This is useful in some specific cases. So if you are a producer that sells coffee through the marketplace and you don't know exactly how much volume you're going to sell, FOB is great. You don't have to worry about anything else. But if you know exactly what is the volume that the roaster is going to buy, and if they give you a target price, then creating a landed price offer will give you a better idea if the price that you're asking, FOB, translates well into the price that they're expecting of the coffee landed. So on the platform, you're also going to see terms like FCA and FLT. Those are the two main Incoterms that are used for the landed price offers. FCA is mainly used in Europe and FLT is mainly used in the US. So FCA stands for free carrier and FLT stands for free on truck. And they basically mean the same thing. They mean that the responsibility for that coffee is going to change from our hands to the roaster's hands once that coffee is loaded into a truck to go from the warehouse to the roastery. And it means that the roaster gets invoiced at that point as well. That works really straightforward if you're offering anything from 100 bags or more. You can just go to the platform and it will give you the price straight away. The only case where I'd say you can't do that yourself through the platform is, let's say you have a buyer that wants 150 bags of coffee and they're buying 5 different lots. So if you were to create those 5 different offers individually for the sales opportunities tab, each offer wouldn't reflect the total volume that the roaster is buying. So if you go through the thing, they'll be able to adjust the price and give you a very competitive price for the total volume that the roaster is buying, and it's going to be easier to get that deal through the line. If you want to sell to a roaster less than 100 bags, you should contact our support team first, because they're going to have to allocate your offer to a shared shipment. So anything below 100 bags will share a space with coffees from other producers going to other roasters. Otherwise, it's not cost efficient. It becomes too expensive for each individual buyer. So we do a consolidation. And that means that our team needs to adjust the prices that are going to be included in the offer that you're going to send to the roaster to reflect the whole volume that's being shipped in that container and not just the volume of your cup. So that's why if you have 10, 15, 50 bags of coffee that you want to sell, contact our team first and we'll help you set up the offer. To which countries can I ship with Algrano? So currently Algrano ships to 3 different markets. That is Europe, the United States, and Canada. We work with around 25 different warehouses in these 3 markets, giving a lot of flexibility to put coffee next to your customer. And for dedicated shipments, so when you're shipping coffee just to a customer, it's very straightforward. You can put the coffee at the nearest warehouse to them. And then when it's a shared shipment, so when you have a shipment that has coffee going to multiple roasters in different countries, we will send it to a specific warehouse. So in Europe, for example, we always send shared shipments to Bremen in Germany. And then from Bremen, we distribute to other countries as well. And my buyer is asking me for a quote with freight. How can I get it? So remember I was talking about landed prices? The easiest way to get a quote is to go to your sales opportunities tab, go to create landed price quotes, and then get a quote for your roaster that way. And you can either click send straight away and send the quote to your roaster, or you can just see the price and talk to your roaster via email or WhatsApp about it. We can do this straight away for offers of 100 bags or more. So you go on the platform, you input the volume, you input the price, and you see the quote for your roaster. But for offers that are below 100 bags, you're going to have to contact the support team first. What's the first step to move forward with a deal? The first thing that you need to do is to create an account on the platform, and you need to upload your business registration documents and registration number as well, so you can access the dashboard for coffee sellers. And then after that, you need to talk to the roaster about the shipping timelines, because you have to make sure that your shipping timeline matches the roaster's expected delivery timeline. So if you're doing like a dedicated container, so it's going to be only your coffee to one specific buyer, that's pretty straightforward. Whenever that coffee is ready to export, we will ship it and the roaster is going to receive it within a few months. We're able to check that pretty easy. But if you're shipping a small volume of coffee in a shared container, you have to be aware of that container's timeline, because we will be adding a lot of different contracts to that container. So shared containers on Algrano, usually they run in a 6 weeks sales window. So even though, let's say it's week 3 and your coffee was contracted now, we will still keep that container open for a little bit longer so it gets full with the contracts from other roasters, and then we'll start preparing everything to ship after that period. So just make sure that you know what the expected shipment timeline is and if that matches the roaster's delivery timelines, and then you can move forward from there. And the last question is, do you do quality control? So yes, right now I'm in Algrano's quality control app. This is where we receive samples for all the coffees that are offered in our marketplace. And we get a lot of PSS and blended samples as well. So quality control depends on what type of contract we're doing. Everything that's offered on the marketplace gets quality control. So it means that we will check the offer samples or the type samples before the offers are created on platform. We will check the pre-shipment samples and we will compare that with the landed coffee sample as well. But when you already know a roaster, we've been working with them for a while, and they already have a level of trust with you, we know that that's not always necessary. They know that the coffee gets delivered as it was tasting when the offer was sent. They're happy to do the quality control themselves. So we made quality control optional at Algrano. This means that, like, if you're working with a roaster for a number of years, they're happy to receive offer samples themselves and PSS themselves. They don't have to contract quality control for Algrano, and they save a little bit of money by not doing that. They can, of course, get us to be involved in quality assurance, because when we do that check, when we do that control, if there is any issue with the quality of the landed coffee, we will be involved in the claims process. We will be involved in trying to find a solution for that problem. All right, this is it. We're done with our Q&A for offers and pricing. Next time, we're going to talk about shared shipments and consolidations. If you have any questions that remain unanswered, you can always talk to our support team in the chats or via support@algrano.com. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.